Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about becoming a real estate investor and whether you should invest in flips or rentals or both or maybe a third way. First, what we'll do is we will go through the advantages and disadvantages of buying flips, and then we'll do the advantages and the disadvantages of buying rentals. And stay to the end and I'll tell you how I invest. House flipping. Starting out as a real estate investor, and you've heard about house flipping, you watch it on HGTV, you watch our channel, you've seen us do it, you've seen everybody do it, they make it look really easy. You buy something at a really, really good price, and then you renovate it, and when you renovate it, everything goes perfectly, and then you sell it and make a ton of money. That's a flip, that's the dream. It's probably not reality. It's almost definitely not gonna be reality for your very first one. Some people may get lucky. I hear all the time, hey, Robbie, I want to invest in flips. I want to do flips. I want to build up my net worth. I want to build up my bankroll, so I want to buy flips. Great. Buying flips is a wonderful way to invest in real estate, and I absolutely love to do it. We have bought and sold over 3,000 houses over the last 25 years, and so we were buying things at the foreclosure sale to the tune of about 2 a week for 20 years. And we did a combination of just flat out selling them once we got them, keeping them as rentals, or fixing them up and selling them. So one of our go-to strategies has always been to buy and sell flips. So the pros to flips, why do people like to think about investing in flips? Because HGT makes it look easy? Maybe. But also, flips imply that you're going to turn your money. So you're going to invest now, today, you're going to fix something up, you're going to increase the value, and then once you've got it done, you're going to sell it as fast as you can. We're not always necessarily holding out for top dollar. The speed and the velocity of money is a really important part of the process that you need to be thinking about if you're going to invest in flips, right? Sometimes it's better to turn that money, make a smaller profit, and get the money back in so that you can buy the next flip, and you keep hitting these singles, hit a single, hit a single, hit a single, hit a double, hit a single, hit a single, and then hit a grand slam home run. Volume has always been the way that I prefer to invest. It's what I would encourage anybody who is getting into the real estate business is to think about how to do as much of it as you can. Build your systems if it's going to be flips. Build your systems, build your teams, and then repeat. And repeat it again and again and again as fast as you can. And so what it would look like is that you buy something under value, probably it needs some work, and then you go in and you renovate it. And once you've got it renovated, you're going to sell it, hopefully for top dollar. But important is to think about the velocity of money. So you might not always need to take top dollar. You can get that money moving fast so that you can do deal after deal after deal. You're trying to do a flip. If you're in the flip business, you want to go as fast as you can. I think something that's good to shoot for in the States would be 3 to 6 months. Turning your money every 3 to 6 months would be ideal. If you're in Puerto Rico, if you can turn your money twice a year, you're doing phenomenally well. So a flip might take a little bit longer in Puerto Rico. It takes a little bit longer to close on it once you've got it sold. It might take a little bit longer to actually find your buyer once you've got it renovated. And it's almost certainly going to take a little bit longer to renovate it. The only thing is that when you're buying in Puerto Rico, you're buying at probably a much lower level. So you're going to have a lot more equity. So flips ideally offer quick returns. They help you build your bankroll and they get you set up to do other kind of real estate investing. So I think I've given you many of the pros about why you would invest in flips. Let's talk about some of the downside to investing in flips. And obviously with any investment, you can have ups and you can have downs. You need your wins to massively outweigh your losses. And as long as you can do that, you're going to have a great life. You're going to be a very successful real estate investor. And I think you've got it in you. You can do it. So let's go. Let's talk about what are some of the risks that you need to think about, that you need to be cautious of when you're buying flips? All right, so the big one, first of all, flips generally mean that you're buying something at a very low value and it's distressed. So most of the time when we're buying a flip, you're going to be offering cash. You're going to offer quick closing. So you're making fast decisions. Maybe you're going to the foreclosure sale. Maybe you're going to the tax deed sale. If you follow this channel, you're certainly looking in those areas. So there's some risk to that, guys. You're going to have to put out a lot of cash in a very short period of time. And if you buy at these places like the foreclosure sale or the tax deed sale, it becomes even more dangerous because you don't get things like title insurance. You don't get things like inspection periods. So you're making really, really fast decisions. So that brings me to the next area where flips can be a little bit risky. There's a lot of competition out there, especially in the States. When you're investing in flips, you are going to see that in every town USA, There are dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of people that have the exact same idea that you do. They're looking at the exact same properties that you do, and they're moving fast, and it's just a competitive world. And what happens in the competitive world is you start to pay more and more and more because you want to get the velocity of money going, and it becomes very scary, right? It's a dangerous way to do life. Here's the last one that I'll say is a little bit of a downside, but it's a downside for everything, but I'm going to probably put this a downside in the rental properties as well. But for flips, a massive part of your business is going to be dealing with contractors and making sure that you get the very best work at a very reasonable price, because every dollar you spend that you shouldn't is a dollar that you don't make. And when you're not making any money and you're doing flips after making quick decisions and outlaying a whole bunch of cash, and then at the end of the day, you don't sell it for as much as you thought you were going to sell it for, and you spend more money than you thought you were going to spend on it, this is a dangerous situation, and it makes life no fun at all. So be very careful about that. Get the right contractor. Make sure that he knows that you've got a lot of work for him, because you're going to do a lot of these flips. You're going to do 2 a week for 20 years, and you want this guy to come alongside you and grow his business with you. So he needs to give you a very fair price and really good work so that you can both make money together. Okay, guys, so there's the pros and the cons about buying flips. Now let's talk about some pros and cons about buying rental properties. So buying rentals is also known as the buy and hold strategy, right? So generally people who are buying rental properties are going to hold on to them for at least 5 to 20 years. That's kind of the window that is accepted. You're a long-term rental. When you sell it, you're going to get long-term capital gains. You're going to make cash flow along the way. It's a great way to build, to store, to have wealth. It's just fantastic. I talked a lot about, in the cons of the flips, the stress that having to act so quickly and move so fast can put on a person. So this generally is not the case when you're buying rentals. You have a lot more time to think about things. So you're more often buying on-market deals or buying deals that aren't at the foreclosure sale and not at the tax deed sale. Things that you're going to be able to get title insurance on. You're going to be able to do inspections with them. You're going to be able to see if there's rental revenue already coming in. You're going to be able to know going in what it's generally going to cost you when you're buying this rental and what the rental revenues are going to bring in. And if you're making enough money, you buy the deal, you take the income, and then you go do that again and again and again. We're always talking about volume, guys. We are volume investors. We believe the velocity of money is the way that you build wealth. And so when you find what you like, you do it again and again and again. And if you're like us, you like a whole bunch of different things and you're always doing all of them. The next advantage to buying rental properties, especially if you're just Joe real estate investor, just starting out, you can have a job, you can do this in your part-time. It's really easy for you to go and find a great deal that's going to throw off enough revenue that you want to buy it, and then go to the bank and borrow the money from them. So you're able to leverage properties that you're going to buy as rental properties because they're generally in better shape than the things that you're buying for flips. Over a long period of time, you're going to experience appreciation. Appreciation is your best friend, guys. When you buy something today, it doesn't matter if you buy it at the top of the market or at the bottom of the market or in the middle of the market. Doesn't really matter. If you're going to hold something for 5, 10, 15, or even 20 years, it's going to appreciate. That's just what real estate does over a long enough period of time. It's going to go up in value. When you buy rentals, you're not as affected by downturns in the market. What does that mean, Robbie? Why are we not as affected by downturns in the market? Well, in a bad economy, that produces more people who need to rent houses. That means there's less people buying houses, so there's a greater demand for your rental property. So your rents are pretty much outside of what's happening in the market. If you go through a recession, you're still going to rent the property. If prices come down in the real estate market and you bought the house at $200,000 and it dips down to $150,000, it still brings in the same amount of rent. So you can pay your mortgage, you still get the same cash flow, you just have a lot more safety when you're buying something for a long period of time. Guys, I've just given you a ton of great reasons to buy rental properties, and now I'm going to give you some of the cons about investing in rentals, because not everything is cherries and roses. It's not all easy, so there must be a downside to it. Like anything in life, rentals are going to take some of your time, your focus, and your energy. And so this can be a con for people. If you are Joe real estate investor just starting out and you have no clue where to go, you're going to need to make decisions when you become a rental investor. You're going to have to decide, are you going to manage the property yourself? Are you going to go out in the middle of the night when the toilet is clogged up? Or are you at least going to take the call and then call the plumber and send him out in the middle of the night? Or are you going to hire a management company? Are you going to screen your own tenants. How are you going to find your tenants? How much are you going to list your properties for? Where are you going to find that information? So this is going to create some work for you, and you need to know that there is going to be work. When you're looking for that property management company, like us, when we came to Puerto Rico, we tried 2 or 3 times with different property management companies. And guys, they couldn't get the places rented. We couldn't keep our tenants. It was just a complete disaster. We were not getting good service. Luckily, we had a rental portfolio that we managed back in Florida. So once we figured out that we weren't going to get the good service anyways, we made the decision and we made the jump to manage them ourselves. But this is something that you need to think about before becoming an investor of rental properties. Okay, guys, now you have the pros and the cons of being a flip investor or being a rental investor, the long-term buy and hold investor. Comment below. Which one do you prefer? Which way do you think is better? You like the idea of buying flips, turn and burn, and building up that cash flow? Or do you like what I said about passive income that you can get through buying rentals and the long-term buy and hold strategy? So comment A for flips, comment B for rentals. Okay, guys, so I've said a lot, and I'm just going to recap really quick here. The main difference that you should take away from this video is when you're buying flips, your intent is to buy something, fix it up, and then sell it as fast as you can and get that velocity of money going and build your stack. Create your wealth by increasing your cash on hand by doing these flips, as many as you can. Then, if you like to compare that to the rental income, you're buying things for the long term. You're buying things for buy and hold. You're going to own these things for 5 to 20 years. They're going to create positive cash flow for you. They're going to create generational wealth for you. So that's the main differences. Buy a flip, you're buying it quick, you're turning and burning. Buying a rental property, you're owning it for a long time. You're building wealth over time. You're building cash flow over time. All right, so I promised you a third way, a third strategy that we weren't going to talk about as much, but you've stayed to the end. You guys are great. We love it that you stayed through to the end. And here it is. Our strategy, our absolute preferred strategy, whether we're buying flips or whether we are buying long-term rent and hold stuff, we really don't ever like to buy things at the retail level. So even if I'm buying a rental property, I'm probably not the guy who's going to go on the MLS and pay full retail, full appraisal, go get a loan from the bank and all of that stuff. I'm going to buy the stuff that's distressed every single time, and I'm going to tell you why. I call it value-add investing, and value-add investing means that I'm buying something at a very low level. Maybe they're using the property for its wrong use. Maybe it's vacant and has no revenues, no income. Doesn't matter what the problem is, where it is. We want to buy it at the low valuation and then renovate it up to its highest and best use. So what's that look like? Oftentimes, it looks like a vacant building that was a mixed use building at one time, and it's been sitting vacant for years. And we come in and update everything, and we fill up the commercial space. And then up top, we build out some really nice apartments that we rent long-term. We've done that a handful of times here in Puerto Rico. We're doing other things on the island where we're taking really decrepit and disgustingly bad properties that have been sitting vacant for sometimes 10 or 15 or 20 years and have no use at all. And then through Act 60, we're coming in and spending a ton of money on them, renovating them up to their highest and best use, which oftentimes for us, because in Puerto Rico with Act 60, we get to take advantage of the Hospitality Act, where we can renovate these things into small guest houses or hotels and get 40% tax credits back on our entire investment. So that's what I kept you to the end for. We do enjoy partnering with people. If that sounds good to you, if you'd like to invest with us this way, send me an email at theflipflopflipperpr@gmail.com. That's a great way for us to get to know each other, see if we're like-minded, see where your skill set is. Maybe you want to come to Puerto Rico and run one of these guest houses, and we want to partner with you if you do. Maybe you moved off of the island years ago because there just wasn't the opportunity on your island of Puerto Rico, and so you've moved your family away for opportunity. And I'm telling you guys, there's opportunity in Puerto Rico now, and we're inviting you back to partner with us, or we're just inviting you back to the island of Puerto Rico and telling you that it's a great time to be in real estate right now in 2023.